From the creators who brought you RuPaul's Drag Race and $1 Million Listing, this is World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome to the Wow Report on Radio Andy Sirius XM, where each week we count down the top 10 things of the week that are making us go wow. I'm club kid turned best-selling author James St. James. I am joined once again, I'm very excited, by our leader, our CEO, our co-founder, Fenton Bailey. Welcome back to the show, Fenton.
James, it is so good to be back, and I am just thrilled to be in your arms, as it were. I was going to say that, but in your control, at your mercy.
Well, I don't know why you've ceded your power to me, but I'm going to run with it before you change your mind and demote me back to supporting cast member. So we also have with us the Chief Creative Officer, Tom Campbell. It is wonderful to see you too.
James, I'm so happy that this week you are our designated driver. This is Spider-Man. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been in control for the past 3 weeks, and it has been one of the high points of my career at World of Wonder.
I've been there. Put on your seatbelts.
James, I should explain that this job is unpaid. Like, you're very good at
I've known that for 10 years. So, that was the voice earlier of our millennial producer, Blake Jacobs.
Hello.
Hi, honey. So let's just get right into the meat of things. Let's start at number 10. Tom, that's you.
Number 10.
Ben Stiller has done a documentary that's on Apple TV called Nothing is Lost. And it's about his parents, Anne, Mary, and Jerry Stiller, who were an incredibly innovative at the time, and it still holds up. They were like a comedy team, but they would sort of do improv and characters, and they were Ed Sullivan's favorites, and they were on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was the show of the world to be on. And it's called Nothing is Lost because Jerry Stiller recorded everything. He was an audiophile. He would like take tape recorders and tape his kids and tape his wife and tape their conversations and their therapy. There was tons of home movies. Ben Stiller picked up a camera because of his dad. And I think Jerry Stiller was in Airport 75. He was in the cast. And so Ben's first film he ever made was called Airport 76, where he recreated it like at home. It's super effective and it's super wonderful because Jerry Stiller went on to be George Costanza's father on Seinfeld, Festivus for the Rest of Us, and he was on King of Queens. And Anne Mira had many more credits than this, but maybe one that sticks out is she played on Sex and the City in the later years. She played Cynthia Nixon's mother-in-law.
Wait a minute! I was sure you were going to say her most famous role was from Fame.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was the teacher, the head teacher in Fame, and she was in the series as well for 6 years.
Can I make a confession?
What? You've never seen Fame?
Never seen Fame.
Tom, I can't believe you. Fame.
Well, it was 1980, and I didn't see it. And then I went to college, and we didn't have cable. We didn't have HBO. I don't know. I just missed out.
Well, I think I know what you're doing over the weekend. You're going to have to do it and come back next week and talk about it because it's
challenge accepted. But in the meantime, Nothing is Lost, the documentary. Ben, he directs it, but he brings in his sister Amy, and it's not only is it about how important his parents' comedy was and how innovative, but also how they were a married couple talking about relationship things. They would often take on characters and do things, but it really rode the line of their relationship. I don't want to say being exploited, but someone said if they'd become any more famous, it would have broken them up. Because as Ben sort of points out, Jerry was maybe the less talented of the two, but the perfectionist, the insecure one who like practice and practice and practice. And Anne Mira was like, could find a joke, out of a comma and a exclamation point, just was free flowing. And so they had this tension. And in the mid 70s, they didn't break up. They stayed married their entire lives. They met in the 50s, but she wanted to go back to where she started, which was drama, and he didn't know what he was going to do, but he ended up, having both of them had big careers afterwards, and it probably saved their marriage. Jerry was really inside and in his head and always thinking and focused on the showbiz, and the mom was less dependent on her career. And so Ben opens up the documentary to talk to his wife, Christine Taylor.
Love her.
Who they had, I didn't realize this, but they had separated. And during COVID, they decided as a family, they have 2 kids, Ella and Quinn, who are both like in their late teens, early 20s. And they decided as a family during COVID to cohabitate. And he and Christine, and making this documentary, brought them all together. So they're also featured in it. But it was
Christine Taylor is, of course, known to you as Marsha Brady in the Brady Bunch movie.
Well, but before that, she was Melody on Hey Dude, Nickelodeon TV show.
We're all learning something here.
Does it give you new insights into Ben Stiller? I mean, I always think when kids make documentaries about their parents, it's always really interesting because everybody's in a slightly different role. It's like, I was thinking.
Are you saying that because you're anticipating Nolan making a movie about?
No. I think what's his face? Robert Downey Jr. did it, right?
I thought of you, and this sounds crazy because I couldn't help in my mind, and I am a small person if Ben Stiller's listening, but having just come off the Mariska Hargitay, Jane, My Mom Jane, which had such twists and turns and such raw emotion, the Stillers, and Ben especially, is a much more intellectual guy. It's not the first time these things have crossed his mind, but he and his sister especially had to really slog through and go through it. And there's a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek opening where Amy and Ben are facing each other like, well, maybe you want to ask me why we're doing it. Like, he's trying to sort of prod her to ask him the question to kick off the documentary. It's still very sincere, but it is very much in the oeuvre of what Ben Stiller, who is wildly funny and sort of definitional of the comedy of his generation. But at the same time, I think as a person, if you ever hear him interviewed or whatever, he's very serious dude, which you see comes from his dad. It reminded me of those, I don't know, the monologuists, I guess, but it's 2 of them. So I don't know what you call Jerry and Ann Mara. I'm at the Ed Sullivan Show. I get alerts from them when something new comes on. So I'm always watching.
Something new on the Ed Sullivan Show. The Ed Sullivan Show alerts you that they have new content.
They put in a new post, a new Edie Gourmet, her singing "What About Me." I didn't know that was coming out. That makes me very excited. But and Ann Mara and Jerry Stiller are all over, so you can watch them on YouTube, which I recommend you do. I also recommend you watch "Nothing Is Lost" on Apple TV. Again, I think it'll educate a lot of people, and for people our age, it will fill them with warm memories.
Well, thank you for that, Tom. Let's move on to number 9.
Number 9.
I watched a movie called Twinless on Fandango. I rented it. It stars Dylan O'Brien as a young man grieving the loss of his twin brother who joins a support group for other twinless twins. Okay. And he plays both twins, of course, Rocky, who was gay and who has passed on. And then he is Roman, the straight twin who is left behind. And at the support group, he meets Dennis, who is played by the writer and director James Sweeney. And they form this sort of unlikely friendship that gets very deep and very twisted and very strange. Turns out Dennis had a hookup with Rocky before he passed away. And when I tell you, we see it in flashback, that this sex scene is the hottest sex scene in the history of gay sex scenes. Yes, Tom?
I thought it was twin on twin action, and I was going to leave right now and go to the theater.
No. But when I tell you that when you see the flashback of Dennis and Dylan O'Brien hooking up, it is, I mean, he goes to Pound Town on him. He is up in his guts. There is nothing that we don't see. It is the hottest damn sex scene in the history of the cinema. I kid you not. And the thing is, Dylan O'Brien got his start on Teen Wolf, where he played the goofy twink Styles, right? He is a twink no more. He is daddy as fuck. When I tell you, I pardon my language, when I tell you that Dylan is just, I mean, caked up and beefed up and just, when this sex scene happens, and then once we realized that they had hooked up, and it's sort of weird that now he's friends with the one who's still alive. You see there's some sort of like stalking going on. It's very disturbing. It really stayed with me a long time afterwards. There's all this, love and loss, and what do you do when your other half is gone? And it didn't get a lot of love at the theater, and it should get more love on streaming, I hope, because Dylan O'Brien is absolutely fantastic in it. Yeah.
I tried to go see this, actually. We were like, yeah, let's go see this movie tonight. And we looked up the show times, and it was like, it plays at 2 p.m. in Burbank 6. So we weren't able to go see it. It was the opening was too limited.
Yeah, I'll tell you whose opening wasn't too limited. Boy, when I say the dentist, woo! Anyway, when it comes onto streaming, I just want everyone to watch it because Dylan O'Brien is a revelation in this, and I would hope that maybe he might get some nominations. I don't know. He might get some like Queerty Award or something for my God. So that's Twinless that I rented on Fandango. Let's move along and go to number 8.
To be honest, I stopped listening after you described the sex scene. I've really been thinking of other things, but I'm ready to move on now. Okay.
That's all you need to know is that there's a sex scene that will blow your mind.
Gasket.
Yes. Anyway, Fenton, number 8.
Number 8.
So I have been away for a few weeks, and the last part of my trip, I went to New York to see Nolan, and because he's now at university, and I said we should go to the theater and we should go see Waiting for Godot. And having bought the tickets to see this revival of Waiting for Godot, I then spent the next couple of days apologizing to Nolan, saying, I don't think you'll like it, and sort of saying what a minimal, dreary play it is, because in a way it is. It's a sort of exercise in minimalism and sort of existential nihilism and what have you. And I do remember seeing the play once and think it was the most awful thing. But this revival has Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter.
Yeah.
Playing the two. And of course, they are famous for the 1989 double act Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So for them to be cast or to cast themselves in a revival of this play it's kind of a bold move. And it feels like really sort of a kind of genius idea, that, 34, 36 years later, after this kind of dude bro romance comedy movie, they would reunite as older men. And in Godot, of course, the two men are kind of considered in the literary canon to be sort of clowns, sort of slightly suicidal, lost, maybe even homeless figures, Vladimir and Estragon, and they somehow known each other forever, and they somehow are waiting for someone called Godot who doesn't show up.
Who probably may or may not exist and may or may not be God is what.
Right.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
Jeez.
Well,
there's not very much in the play to begin with, and we've now told you the little that is. I have to say, however, this was the most genius thing. I mean, I think I was projecting my own sense of impending disappointment.
Well, wait a minute, because you had seen in London with Alan Cumming, you'd seen a Beckett play, the one where she's in the flower pot, right, where she's buried up, and you hated it. Oh, Happy Days, yes. And you absolutely hated it, and I think it turned you off of Beckett, but I'm so glad to hear that you love this.
It was riotously funny. I mean, love Keanu Reeves, love him in Speed, have had impure thoughts about him at various stages in various roles. But oh my God, he was so good. And I know he's not an actor's actor, but oh my God, he really is brilliant in this. And Alex Winter is also brilliant in this.
I wonder if it's because they have this 40-year history that they can riff on each other and play off each other in a way, in a comfort that is maybe you need for something like this.
I think that could be very valid. I also think, being now a big old queen myself, I think that I've come to understand there's a homoeroticism in it that just courses through it in a very effortlessly it's nothing like Twinless, Jane. names. There's no sort of holes being plugged and what have you. But actually, I will say Jamie Lloyd is the director. And Jamie Lloyd
stop it. Oh, my God, you just turned me off.
Is queer and did this amazing revival of Sunset Boulevard. And what else has he done?
Evita, where she's covered in blood. There's,
okay. But it's actually perfect for him because his thing is minimalist on the one hand and bold on the other. And I think it's absolutely, the whole thing makes sense. And speaking of holes, the normal set for Gadot is a mound, a sort of solitary mound, and a single tree. No, what they've done, what Jamie Lloyd did, whatever, it's basically like they're in a giant sewage drain, and it goes back. So they're standing at the lip of a giant sewage underground tunnel thing. I mean, that's just my interpretation of what it was. But you definitely get the feeling that they're sort of homeless and sort of hanging out in this place. Yeah. And it was just so good. And there was no tree. They point to the tree and the tree's out there. And there's a sense in which the audience it sort of breaks the fourth wall. And it's got this sort of queer theme and this sort of bromance between the two of them.
It's so interesting that you say that, though, because I saw it back in the 90s when Steve Martin and Robin Williams were playing it. And it was not homoerotic at all. It was just as genius and just as funny. But for you to have to say that the homoeroticism is baked into the play, I'd never thought of that until you just mentioned it.
There's real affection and love between them. So again, it's not porno love. It's not big holes, big openings love. It's just affection. And you really get the kind of codependency that is actually joyful rather than miserableist. It's
like James and Blake.
There you go. Yes.
I would love for them to tour with this. I would love for them to come to LA.
It really must not end. It's only playing, James, until end of the first week of January. They must extend it. They must go on tour. It is a tour de force, and Nolan loved it. And,
that's so good. I love that Nolan just being exposed to Beckett and And I love you changing your mind about Beckett too, about the potential of Beckett.
Yeah, well, I thought it was unmissable because it's part of the literary canon, right? Everyone loves Gadot and Beckett, what have you. But anyway, so James, you're going to take us to break? That's what the host does.
I am. When we come back, we'll continue the countdown. But until then, Blake, do you have a trivia question for us?
Boy, do I. How much is the most ever given away on Wheel of Fortune?
Oh, wasn't it just recently that a woman won $1 million? Oh,
we'll have the answer for you right after the break here on the Wow Report.
I may be hosting when we come back. That's my point.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
We're back. Before we start, I want to say that Scroll Patrol, our new original series starring Drag Race icon Nicole Page Brooke, premieres Wednesday starting November 12th on WoW Presents Plus worldwide. And Strange Journey, the story of Rocky Horror, is in theaters here in the States and in the UK for the rest of the spooky season, produced and directed by Linus O'Brien and executive produced by our own Fenton Bailey and Randy Barbado. Strange Journey is a celebration of the cult classic, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, as it celebrates its 50th anniversary, featuring interviews with Susan Sarandon, Trixie Mattel, Tim Curry, Jack Black, and more. Before we left, I had asked if Blake had a trivia question.
No, you had ruined my trivia question. I asked how much was the most ever won on Wheel of Fortune?
I think I'm going to agree with James, but maybe I'll say $1,010,000.
Recently, I do believe a woman won that $1 million. You pick that piece of pie up at the end, you make that final wheel. So I'm going to say it's $1.2 million.
It is $1,035,155 on the show's September 30th episode. Christina Derevjanik of Stamford, Connecticut correctly solve the puzzle pack of coyotes.
I'm so old. I remember when on Wheel of Fortune on Daytime, they used to buy stuff. Do you remember they used to get money and they'd be like, I'll spend $6,000 on the ceramic leopard.
Yeah.
No, I do not remember that.
Oh, and it was the worst, the corniest gifts, and they were so overpriced. But I happened to be watching that episode, and so I did manage to see that. So I'm sorry that I ruined it for you, Blake. Anyway, let's continue on with our countdown at number 7, Tom.
Number 7.
Now, you guys might remember me as the co-host of the Wow Report who turned you on to Ariana Grande as a serious artist. You might remember that?
We had never heard of her until you came along, yeah.
Well, I'm excited. On the music beat, I have a new exciting artist to tell you about. Her name is Demi Lovato.
Oh, who is this? Who could this be?
No, Demi has a new album out, and it's getting rave reviews. She performed, I did not attend, but she performed at the Hollywood Palladium, which is a very small venue, for like 3 nights in a row. Just album launch hype. People said it was just amazing. She's always had an incredible voice. In fact, I don't remember if you recall, but we met with her. It was one night only. We met with Demi Lovato years ago at World of Wonder.
I met her there. Yeah, she was a Party Monster fan.
I was so impressed with her mind, and she was, at the time she's still young, but she was really young. She was 20 something, and she comes from the Disney school, and she's been through all that, and the Jonas Brothers, and all Camp Rock, and all that. But as we know, she has gone through a lot, and she got sober. She kind of, I think, relapsed and got sober, got California sober, changed her pronouns, changed them back. And she seems to be in a really good place. Not that any of that makes you in a bad place, but she seems to be in a really clear, focused place. She seems to be healthy. She seems, like she's fought a lot of demons. And she has put together an album. You know how everyone said last summer there was no song of the summer?
Right.
This is the album of the summer, last summer, coming out now. I'm deeming it this.
I think actually, I think, Tom, you're right there. There's a trend that the summer albums come after the summer. Because last year it was Brat, remember? Brat came out, I think, in the fall, didn't it?
That was Brat summer, too.
It was Brat summer. Okay.
It's kind of amazing. And I don't want to take full credit for the album.
Yeah, sure. But you are the one who's out here pushing it.
Years ago, Brett McLaughlin, also the artist known as Leland, had like a luncheon that I invited myself to somehow. I used to be bold. And it was a bunch of like the up and coming, fabulous, successful songwriters that he works with in the world, this whole thing. And they were at Cicconi's, and I went. And at the end of the brunch, I stood up, and this was years ago. I said, guys, listen to me. We are on a dangerous lack of new lip sync for your life songs. Because everything's so mellow. I love all the artists.
We've been Billie Eilish'd to death is basically
all of that. And even Sabrina Carpenter, who everyone loves, who I don't not love, but I don't get the deep love. She's a great star, but her music is very soft, very whispery. But Demi Lovato can sang. Some of our best lip syncs have been her previous songs. She's been on Drag Race, but there are a bunch of bangers on this, but the one I want you to listen to, I won't play it now, is just called Kiss. And Brett McLaughlin wrote 2 or 3 of the songs, I think. And Kiss will definitely be featured on Drag Race. And I kiss for fun. It's fun to kiss. I use my tongue like this. I mean,
well, yeah, Sondheim, better Cole Porter, better watch out, boy.
It's a super. I was playing it earlier. Fenton and I have been sharing a space here.
It's really good, Tom. I mean, I heard it. I think a banger is always defined by the first time you hear it. You're like, oh yes. You don't necessarily remember it, but you just know that you're going to remember. It's that feeling of when I first heard music. And when I first heard Give Me More, I was like, oh my God, these are bangers. And it's sort of like the album you wish Taylor Swift had done in Life of a Showgirl. You just wish it was, because Taylor said it was bangers, it was Max Martin. And I was like, but this feels like this is that.
Yeah. So, I mean, every corner of the earth is responding to it, and very positively. So I just don't think it could happen at a better time to a nicer artist. And I hope Demi Lovato live long and prospers. And I hope she's on Drag Race next season. And I hope we're lip syncing for our life many times.
You know, she's one of those generational people that everyone loves her. Everyone has memories of growing up to her or what have you.
And the album is called It's Not That Deep, which is a lyric of Kiss. But it's just the idea. It's like, it's not that deep unless you want it to be. But it's just like, let's just kiss. Kind of let's just go make out. It made me feel like I was, 19 again, where it's like, you want to make out? Yeah, let's make out. Now people are like, only if you put your teeth back in. So that's where I'm at.
Well, actually, for some things you want to take your teeth out, but
Okay, well, let's move on to number 6.
Number 6.
I wanted to talk about the mysterious UFO that has been hurtling towards Earth.
Thank you. I feel I have been a voice in the wilderness for the last few months.
Talk about bringing something to the forefront of the news. Fenton, thank you for this. The 3-Eye Atlas is what scientists refer to as this UFO. If it is a UFO, it's 7 miles in diameter. It has been headed our way through. It's been in the solar system. It's gone past like Saturn. I think it's gone past Jupiter, on its way to Earth. Harvard scientist Avi Loeb has speculated that it could be nuclear powered. Thus, high speed is very strange. Fenton, you sent us a TikTok called Cosmic Disclosure, in which a French perception-based intelligence specialist named Sebastian Martin, who was remote viewing the 3-Eye Atlas, which means that he telepathically entered into the spaceship, and he says that it is filled with 5 million Draco reptilian alien soldiers in cryopods
my favorite.
who are dormant and waiting to be awakened.
Yes.
He said the Draco race is known for fighting wars, and when they travel through space, they keep an army of reptilian soldiers because they don't know who they're going to meet. He also has had visions of what the Dracos will do when they land on Earth, and he says he doesn't want to reveal that now because he doesn't want to cause widespread panic, but he assures us that in the end, Earth will prevail. I see, Tom, your face is getting larger and larger and larger. Are all three of you worried about this?
Well, let me say about half a dozen things. Number one, I love remote viewing because it's the best way to travel. You don't have to leave your seat or do anything. You just say, I just remote viewed this, that, and the other.
Right.
And the United States Army did actually once launch a remote viewing kind of operation. And that became the basis of the movie and the book and the TV series, The Men Who Stare at Goats by John Ronson, which we produced.
Right. Okay, yeah.
But number two, I have to say that the remote view it just tickles me endlessly, especially in an internet age in which true and false have become so confused and muddled up and deliberately undermined. Who cares anyway? So 3-Eye Atlas with these 5,000 Draco reptilians. I told Theron about this. Theron, who is the sort of early adopter of everything, he immediately gets himself on Sora 2, the AI platform, and has produced a series of videos in which he is on the 3-Eye Atlas running around with these aliens that have emerged from pods. So I'm here for it. But sorry, those are all the things I wanted to say. Tom.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to have many more topics about this before the Draco reptilians come and invade us.
Yes.
I would just like to interrupt this story by reminding all citizens of voting age in California to vote yes on Prop 50. All right, I cede my time back to James.
Okay, well, on that note, let's move along to number 5. Fenton, that's you.
Number 5.
Oh, well, that's very convenient because it's me, so we can keep talking about 3-Eye Atlas. I was going to update you about I've been collecting all the Instagrams. Also, the other story I've been following avidly is the orbs. There's an orb pandemic, and there's ones in South America, these orbs that fly around. I think just recently they released footage from Yemen of a missile being fired at an orb, and the missile just basically bounces off.
Drones? I mean, isn't it just a
These
lit up
orbs
drone?
these orbs are like round metal spheres that have no visible means of propulsion, travel at great speeds, erratically, zigging and zagging here and there. And
Well,
people
why
don't
isn't
know.
this bigger news? Why am I not seeing it on HuffPo and New York Times?
Well, just talk about it long enough, and the algorithm will start surfacing stuff for you. Because
Gotcha.
my Instagram used to be filled with hot men, and now it's just full of Three-Eye Atlas and orbs. And the great thing about Three-Eye Atlas is it actually has an arrival date, right? I think it is just before Thanksgiving. Yeah, our days are not numbered necessarily, but I wish this guy would tell us how we're supposed to fight off these.
Well, I'll tell you something. I don't care about fighting them off. I don't care if Earth wins. I say let them come and just destroy the whole planet. Just get rid of it. We are on a path to nothingville. I want it over with. I want to be a prisoner of the Draco reptilians and get off the planet because I'm tired of it.
What makes you think they're going to take you with them? They're probably just going to eat you.
I would be one of the ones that they need. I think the three of us would be very useful to them. Or the
From
four of us.
party monster to party alien, James St. James.
There
That's the
you
next
go.
level.
Okay, well, thank you for
All
that. Before we go to break, I want to mention that it's a double Rusical week in the Drag Race universe. RuPaul's Drag Race UK premiere Thursdays on Wow Presents Plus worldwide outside of the UK and Canada, and on BBC Three in the UK. Drag Race España premieres Sundays on Wow Presents Plus worldwide outside Spain, and on Atlas Player in Spain. That's correct. Atlas Player.
Atras,
it's something like that. Also, Pillow Talk with Butt King, our new series starring RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17 power couple, Corey King and Lydia B. Collins, is out now on Wow Presents Plus. And with that, we will be right back after the break. But this time, I have a trivia question. Last week or the week before, I had asked what the difference between graveyards and cemeteries was. Graveyards are adjacent to a church, and it's usually the parishioners of the church and their families who are part of it. And it's usually just one denomination, whereas cemeteries are usually outside the city lines, and they have all sorts of denominations. In that vein, I'm going to ask now what the difference between a casket and a coffin is. When we come back, I will give you that answer.
All right, I love it. J'adore.
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
Welcome back to the Wow Report, where each week we count down the top 10 things of the week that make us go wow. I'm James St. James, joined by Fenton Bailey and Tom Campbell with our millennial producer, Blake Jacobs. Before the break, I had asked what the difference between a coffin and a casket is, and your answers are what?
I think a casket isn't necessarily life-sized. I think a coffin is shaped like that. We all know what a coffin looks like from the emoji shape. You know that. I think a coffin is defined by its shape, and a casket can be basically a suitcase if you want.
I think a casket might be used to display the body, while a coffin is used to bury the body.
Oh, both are very interesting ideas. Actually, it's the shape. You're right, Fenton. Caskets are rectangular, while coffins are six-sided and tapered, wider at the shoulders to match the human forms. Also, caskets are generally more expensive due to their ornate features, whereas coffins are sometimes a little more plain.
So the vampires are usually in caskets.
It depends. If it's Count Dracula, he might be in a casket, yes, because he's a little more wealthy. Also, very quickly, what's the difference between a cross and a crucifix?
A crucifix has Jesus on it. A cross, this could be a cross.
And who uses crucifixes?
Vampire hunters.
No.
Buffy.
Catholics, Roman Catholics, whereas the more Protestants use crosses more.
Oh,
right, because the Protestants aren't into the visualization and representation of Christ, and we love a photo, we love a statue in the Catholic Church. Gotcha.
It's very true. Yeah. So anyway, let's continue on with our countdown. We are at number 4, I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's you, Tom.
Number 4.
We lost a great American actress, June Lockhart. 100 years old, passed away in her home in Santa Monica. I don't know the exact details, and maybe I'm romanticizing, but she seemed to be very healthy for a long, long time. She'd been on TV forever. And that she was in her home in Santa Monica. It just sounds like she lived a rich, full life. And for those who don't know, Lassie was a show that was on for like 20 years. And for like 7 of them, she played the mother on Lassie. And fun fact, she replaced Cloris Leachman, who was the original mother on Lassie. But she was that.
I didn't know that.
She got replaced by some kind of ranger or something character. And then she went immediately over to Lost in Space. Which,
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
And what was the doctor's name?
Dr.
Smith.
Dr. Smith. Dr. Zachary Smith.
And who would have known that all those years...
Heaven to Murgatroyd. Oh, that clacketing bucket of crap. Yeah.
I never would have known watching Dr. Smith in the 60s and 70s that I'd be working with him in the form of Jane St. James here in the 2025 thing, But Lost in Space had a great gay character because of Dr. Smith. And if you remember, it went from black and white to color. We used to watch it in repeats. And there's one picture that's been going around with her in that lime green and that pink, and that's 1967. My cousin April wore those exact colors at Easter. It was 1967. You can mark the 60s by their ear. So that went off the air. A classic. It's been remade again. She was the mother of a family that got lost in space and would end up in a different soundstage. Planet every week. And then she went over and finished the last 2 years of Petticoat Junction.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Because Bo Benedict had been the matriarch of this little, Beverly Hillbillies spin off about 3 daughters who bathe in the water tower. And she had passed away, so they brought in Jean Lockhart as the doctor. And so she would come out in a red suit. Anyway, her career started way before that. Her father, Gene Lockhart, was an accomplished actor. Yeah, sure. He's best known all these years later as playing in the 1938 A Christmas Carol, which plays every Christmas.
Yeah.
He plays Bob Cratchit.
Alistair Sims, was that one?
He plays Bob Cratchit. I can't remember. And she plays one of Bob Cratchit's children. So that was her movie debut, was with her dad in 1938. Wow. She was remarkably very progressive, and I didn't know it till later. And she's been on the internet. This is even before her passing away.
Yes.
And there's 2 things. The first one is she would talk to people come up to her and say, "Oh, you were on Lassie. Oh, why don't they make good, sweet television like that before?" And she had mentioned Adrian Scott, one of the Hollywood 10, who went to prison for contempt to Congress for the blacklisting in the 50s, and that his wife used to attend Lassie story conferences, so she gave her husband notes in prison, so that the actual scripts for Lassie were often written by prisoners who were in jail for not divulging names of innocent people. So that's kind of amazing. So she's like, yes, they were good Americans and they were in jail. But the one that plays a lot, especially in my feed, is there was an old talk show called the Virginia Graham Show. And Virginia Graham was just this wacky, talky woman with a big beehive. And she's there and she'd have conversations, and they have a homosexual, a priest on, I think. And he's talking about homosexuality. And at one point, June Lockhart, who was a guest and very proper, like in the early 60s, she goes, she defended homosexuality. She's like, Virginia, where do you sort of get off, quote unquote, talking about something you don't know anything about? She goes, oh, well, I can't talk about drugs. I can't talk about murder. And she goes, Virginia, you're being off topic. And Virginia knew all these gay people, but had sort of lived this don't ask, don't tell.
Didn't Virginia, wasn't she with the famous porn star for many years, like who was 20 years her junior?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I think of Margaret Whiting when I think of that.
Oh, Margaret. Yes. Okay.
Same haircut, different person. Yes. I love that I can pick up your mistakes. That's how weird we are.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry.
But at one point, Virginia said, she's very don't ask, don't tell about homosexuality, which makes no sense. And she goes, it's just like, you want me to talk about what my husband and I do in bed? And June said, but you do tell people what you and your husband did in bed. It was just this bam. But from June Lockhart, who was always, if there was ever montages of mothers or reunions of mothers, it'd be Florence Henderson and Shirley Jones and June Lockhart. So she was this lady. She had won as a juvenile. She had won
before. Yeah, she was
a
very
Tony.
much.
Yeah. So she was just lovely and lived a wonderful life. And just had to remember her here on the Wow Report. June Lockhart, rest in peace and perfection.
Yeah. Number 3, I'm going to do another rest in perfection that happened this week.
Number 3.
Bjorn Andresen, who had a very long career, is most famous for his first and his last roles, primarily as Tadzio in Visconti's 1971 classic film Death in Venice. He was also the wizard in 2019's Midsummer, where he had that fabulous long gray beard and the long white hair, and he was so handsome in his older years.
Oh, really? That was him?
That was
That's
him.
amazing.
Yeah, that was one of his last roles.
I love that.
On the February 12th, 2021 episode of this show, I spoke about the documentary The Most Beautiful Boy in the World about Bjorn and his role in Death in Venice. He was literally labeled that by the press at the time and by the audiences. There had been Visconti had traveled the world looking for the most beautiful boy in the world. And when he came across Bjorn, he said, "That's the most beautiful boy in the world." And it sort of stuck. The story of Death in Venice is he's literally stalked. He is the object of obsession by the dying Gustav Aschenbach, played by Dirk Borgard. And yes, there's this sort of overarching theme of creepy pedophilia, stalking the young boy at the turn of the century in the turn of last century Venice. And later, Bjorn revealed how uncomfortable the press and the public reaction to him was. The movie, though, is a cinematic masterpiece. Fenton, I'm sure you will agree with me. The cinematography, the costumes, the setting, the attention to period detail is everything you expect from Visconti. It is absolutely just, you can sing into it. It is so beautiful. So, yeah, there were perverts and misguided adults surrounding him during that period. Visconti would drag him through nightclubs at age 14. And he was really sort of mistreated. But it's very sad that he never could appreciate the beauty of the role or his place in cinema. And he never was able to accept how fantastic, how spectacular he is in the movie, because he always sort of it was a sore spot from his entire life. So rest in peace. I hope he finds peace in the afterlife.
What caused it? Because he died kind of young, right? He was he
was 79, I believe, 70 or 79. He was in his 70s. So I don't know what the cause.
That feels very young to us, James. That feels very young to us.
Right around the corner. So yeah, but rest in perfection, absolute perfection. Physical beauty, physical perfection. Bjorn Andresen.
And then number 2, I think, is Blake, isn't it?
Number 2.
Well, it's Blake and James.
Is it? Oh, exciting. What are we talking about?
We're talking about our little Wow Report live show.
That's right. We have taken over. This is why I'm in charge now, because I've been doing such a bang-up job on our live show where we count down the top 3 things of the day that make us go, wow.
3 or so, yeah. And it's every Monday at 11.
It's a lot more loosey-goosey than this damn show, I'll tell you.
Really? That's hard to imagine. This is looser than the Holland Tunnel. Jeez.
We are hooting and hollering it up over there. And it's been going very well. We had 40 viewers this last week. So when I tell you that we are not dragging down the algorithm, Benson, that we are doing gangbusters, and it's going to be running for years.
James, how are you doing this? It must be exhausting to do a live show once a week. How do you go?
I'll tell you how I'm doing, because you had suggested that I do all 10 things on this, and I thought 14 topics. I don't have 14 topics in me. I swear to God, by the end of today, I'm going to collapse in just a weeping pile of sweat and accomplishment. Are you having fun with it, Blake?
I'm having a blast with it. It can be a little scary to be live, as the comments can be a little vicious at times. But
well, that's because the comments come in live, and we can talk to people, which is very exciting.
They might be mean, but it's what's coming from my heart. I just want you guys to know.
Well, the comments have basically been Tom Pressman, Mike Pressman, and Maddie. So that's the vicious. It's been coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
Well, what were the 3 things you did on Monday?
What were the 3 things we did?
Well, we did the heist at the Louvre.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then we did the new show on Sky TV. Amadeus.
The new Amadeus. Amadeus is a new series coming to Sky TV in England, and it stars Will Sharp, who was so great on White Lotus.
Right.
Yeah, and he plays Amadeus, and he's just adorable. And but it's one of those things like, why do we need another Amadeus? But that was sort of the topic of that. And what was our number one?
We just chatted back and forth about spooky movies for Scary Movie season.
I have something to suggest, and it's going to sound shady, but it's not. It comes from a place of love, which is I miss being out. Remember, we used to be together and in the window? You guys should do this show in the window or on the sidewalk, and you would triple your viewers.
Actually, that's a very good idea.
Now I am going to have to start getting paid for this if I have to come in and actually put on an outfit, for Christ's sake.
Oh, dear.
We'll take that under consideration. Moving on, before we get to number 1, I wanted to mention that Canada's Drag Race Season 6 premieres Thursday, starting November 20th on WOW Presents Plus worldwide outside Canada on Crave in Canada. Meet 12 new queens of Season 6 in Meet the Queens, now streaming. Also, RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 7 is now streaming on WOW Presents Plus worldwide outside the UK and Canada on BBC 3 in the UK and on Crave in Canada. And when we come back, we will reveal the number 1 thing of the week that is making us go, wow!
You're listening to World of Wonders Wow Report. Things that make us go wow.
And we are back, and we've been counting down the top 10 things of the week that are making us go, wow. We are finally at number 1, and that is me, because I wanted to do a little spooky Halloween-themed number 1.
Number 1.
I thought I'd read to you the top 15 trendy Halloween costumes of 2025. But before I do that, are either of you coming up with the costumes? Anyone dressing up?
Why dress up when they look like a witch and an ogre?
There you go.
I love it.
Grace, who is in the office here, was telling us that she's dressing up. She has a reflective vest and a beret and wearing lots of jewels. And she is the Louvre, the French Louvre jewel thief, which is very funny. I love that. But let me start with number 15. The number 15 is Glinda, which makes sense. Number 14 is Toothless. I don't know what that means. Does anyone know what Toothless is?
Probably
Blake?
me.
Right? Number 13 is the nurse from Silent Hill. I don't know what that is either. Number 12 is Nightwing, who is a DC superhero. He was Robin, he's Dick Grayson, and now he's known for his caked up behind. He is known for his spectacular backside. So I think a lot of hot guys are being Nightwing. Number 11.
Toothless is from How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Number 11 is Hamilton, which seems a little weird. Number 10 is the Lorax. Number 9 is Elphaba. Number 8 is Despre from K-pop Demon Hunters. Number 7 is Labubu, obviously. Number 6 is the chicken jockey from Minecraft. I don't know what that is either.
It's the Minecraft movie.
This is the most insightful segment we've ever had.
Number 5 is Baby Saja from K-pop Demon Hunters. Number 4 is Jinu from K-pop Demon Hunters. Number 3 is Mira from K-pop Demon Hunters. Number 2 is Zoe from K-pop Demon Hunters. And number 1 is Room from K-pop Demon Hunters.
I can't believe that Aunt Gladys from Weapons
This
isn't on
Aunt
that.
Gladys erasure is making me crazy. I can't believe that. I thought every drag queen was going to be Aunt Gladys this year.
Yeah.
From
I guess they're going to be Toothless.
Well, there you go. There you go. So anyway, that is our show. Thank you all for listening, and come back next week when we count down the top 5 things.
Have a beautiful Halloween.
Have a beautiful Halloween. Yes. Thank you all, and yay! Oh my God.
Same place, same time next week. Until then, go out and do something that makes the world go
wow.
Oh.